Welcome to another episode of the Jay and Rob Toy Show. I am your host, Mr. Rob McCallum, and we're going formal this evening with Mr. in titles. Allow me to bring the other half, the expected part, the Caped Crusader, to join me as we combat toy crime this evening, Mr. Jay Bartlett. Jay, welcome to the stream, my friend. How have you been doing?
You remember the days when we used to have wrestling intros for ourselves? I think we should bring that back. I think we should bring that back because I want to hear The Game by Triple H. I think that could be my theme, and you, of course, are Shawn Michaels. We should bring that back.
I think you're missing the obvious thing that has happened here. We are now the tag team, and that countdown intro that we have, that's our theme song as we come into the ring.
Even so, I like The Game.
And hey, we talk about playtime all the time because the best time is playtime. My son said that to me the other day, by the way.
Oh,
said,
nice.
All right, Harrison. I said, Harrison, it's time for school and, we got to get going. And then later on, it's like, it's time for bed. He goes, but Dad, it's playtime. And the best time of day is playtime. So he's taking the piss from me with, our own catchphrases.
I'm a little concerned if you're letting him watch this filth late at night. So.
Oh, no, he doesn't watch this. He just knows the slogan because it gets repeated throughout the house.
That's very cool.
He takes advantage of it as he plays with dollies too, just like we do. He's a shelfer, and that's okay. That's okay. breed the shelfers young. But speaking of playtime and wrestling intros, isn't that like the perfect thing to point to from playing with action figures and mix up? Going to like video games and not just being content to play click, 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 click with our controllers and pew, 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 pew. We actually have to take it to the next level and have League Night. We had League Night with like No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000.
Why are you going to bring this up in front of everybody? Why do you got to...
Do you want to address it or should we just let that mystery linger?
League Night? I've buried that so far down that it's down. If you want to talk about it some other time, we can. Let's move on.
All right. Well, everybody that's watching out there, thank you so much, of course. Hit the like button. Smash that subscribe button. Let us know that you're out there. We see a lot of wonderful people in the comments already on the chat. Thank you for stopping by as always. We got a Mondo show tonight. Well, not Mondo, the toy company, but we have a big show tonight. We have special guests from MatTracker.com. We got Bill stopping by, and of course that means we're talking all things M.A.S.K. You hear Jay and I talk about M.A.S.K. all the time. If you've seen Action Figure Adventure or even just the poster for season 1, you can tell by the prominent Thunderhawk vehicle that we are clearly big fans of M.A.S.K. But I'm looking forward to, Jay, all the stuff that we might not know about M.A.S.K. and what Bill can kind of divulge and what kind of info drop he can do on us.
Yeah, me too. As much as we love M.A.S.K, it's I'll be the first to say I'm by no means a M.A.S.K expert. I know the first couple seasons and the first couple waves definitely the best, but later on when it got all crazy with the racing stuff, a little rusty. So it'll be interesting to hear his professional perspective.
Well, we're gonna have to get into the racing stuff. That's the big thing that everybody points to. I want to save it for Bill. We'll save it for Bill.
Sure.
We've obviously got big news still to share with everybody, but still can't share it. We've always got big news on the show. Isn't that the theme? Big news coming someday.
You like to tease that stuff. You like to tease these fine people. You like to torture them, and that's your personal private business.
But I can say, and I think you will confirm it, we have completely wrapped production on the Jay and Rob Toy Show, which of course is the television version of this that was picked up for broadcast. So we shot 12 episodes for the TV version of this podcast stream, and we're delivering 10 to the broadcaster Jinx Esports TV exclusively in Canada. And we believe that it's going to be scheduled for air sometime summer, maybe early fall, depending on where the scheduling falls. But we've shot and we've wrapped production completely on it. It was a whirlwind March, because we've got through 12 episodes in addition to doing this show, plus other stuff that we're always doing.
Yeah, it was great. And it just occurred to me last Friday was the last day. So am I allowed to take the tape off the studio floors now? Is that cool? Take the marking tape off.
No, I'm just going to ask you to keep it there just in case.
Yeah, you know what? Each one of these projects that we do is so different from the last. And this one was completely different because we're not face to face. Good and bad to that. But I really did enjoy it. And it was, if you guys love this podcast, you tune in, you're going to love the show. It's completely professional. And Rob has spent countless hours shooting all the toys that we talk about and all that kind of stuff. So it's really a wonderful production. And I haven't seen anything yet. So I'm really eager, just as you guys are, to check it out. Coming soon.
Now, you just indicated you haven't seen anything, which is true. I haven't done any shares yet. I'm the keeper of the footage, as you know.
I do know this.
Can you give any similarities or differences? Can you compare and contrast how the TV version is different than this podcast live stream version that we do, our weekly show?
Quality wise, because this is live and you never know what's going to happen live. I have a 4K camera. Is that what's on me now? Instead of my webcam here?
Right.
No. When we shoot,
TV version,
it's a 4K camera for the TV version. So there's that, and staring straight into the lens. I'm in the middle of my studio here, so I have no monitors around me. Just Dave, our camera guy, and I can't see Rob. So that's kind of interesting. Just looking into the black soul of the camera and hearing Rob in the headphones. It's quite different than the other productions I've been involved with, but it was such a blast just talking toys.
And now this Friday, we make preparations to plot out and chart out all the production logistics for 5 Favorite Figures. Of course, our second show that we got greenlit for, again, on Jinxie Sports TV in Canada. So that's going to be a fun meeting that we have. And April's going to be another busy month, but then it'll be good to chill out and settle down again. So that's a lot to look forward to. If you are listening on the audio side, if you're listening to the podcast through Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google Podcasts or Downcast or Stitcher, wherever you listen to this, please give us a rating. Please give us a 5-star review. It lets other people know that this is out there. It pushes us up in the ranks. We just really appreciate it. I also want to give a big shout out to our good pal on Twitter, Jay, Billy D. I think it's on the air, Billy, I believe his handle.
Mm-hmm.
He picked up some Jay and Rob Toy Show merch. He got a zip-up sweater hoodie. He took a lime green version of the hoodie with our Jay and Rob logo prominently centered there. Of course, it says the Jay and Rob Toy Show on the back. And he was showcasing it. That was awesome. What did you think when you saw that?
Yeah, I got the notification today. It was very humbling. Especially... I don't think we had stuff like that for Nintendo Quest. I don't think we had shirts. No, we didn't. But to see
we did, but they got pulled after a week because we got hit with a copyright thing because of Nintendo.
Right. The cartoon likenesses that were done of us, both for Action Figure Adventure and for the Jay and Rob Toy Show, are just they're so charming. And to see us on someone else's chest is quite humbling, to be honest. Not quite used to that, but it's much appreciated.
Yeah, and props to Jeremy DeWitt, the illustrator behind the cartoon Us's, who brought us to life. So now we got the 3 poses.
Yeah.
The good cartoon S's, yes. So we got Action Figure Adventure, Jay and Rob Toy Show, and 5 Favorite Figures, of course. So be on the lookout for all that. Let's tidy up this homework and get to our big guest. I should say, we do have a special guest for our Action Figure Spotlight later on today. We got Nathan, I'm Not a Toy Guy, Sawyer, showcasing some toys. He's also now known as Tater the Toy Guy. We'll get into all that later. And my Action Figure Spotlight is this package that you can see here. Do you see whose ridiculous face this is?
Is that Justin? Is that Justin Curry?
This is Justice Cury. I got a package from Justice Cury, and I felt, well, it was an interesting feeling getting this box with this cartoon face all over it at the post office. I got some looks, and I haven't opened it. It's still sealed. I know what's in it, I think, but I also don't know what other crap he may have thrown in here, because we talked about that when he was a guest on our show, what trinkets and garbage he likes to ship across international borders for my delight. So later on, we'll open it up and see what kind of paraphernalia he tried to smuggle across the border and see where that goes.
Cool.
Sound good?
And real quick before we get to our featured guest, I did promise everyone too for Action Figure Spotlight that I would showcase the second piece of Brave Star merchandise that I got
Ah,
from a wonderful seller. I will introduce him as we do the spotlight, but I promised everyone that. So you do your Justice box, and I will do the Brave Star reveal. It's going to be awesome.
well, there's no big pressure there now for Nathan to compete with 2 boxes now that we're doing, one of Brave Star merch and one from Justice Cury here. So let's get to our guest. I know Bill is standing by. He's been watching our antics patiently. He left for a few minutes and then came back, so we must have said something to sway him to stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill from MatTracker.com. There he is.
Hey everybody, I have I've been laughing along with your chat here, and I appreciate the time. I know that we tried to link up in Newark a little while ago when you guys were doing some filming, but unfortunately I couldn't get there. And I'm glad to be able to talk to you now, though. Thank you very much for having me.
Well,
Yeah, Bill,
thanks for.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's great. It's great to have you. Rob and I are such huge M.A.S.K fans, but we must confess we don't run into a ton of collectors that collect or talk a lot about M.A.S.K. So this is going to be a great show. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. And I mean, frankly, we did try to hook up in New York for Action Figure Adventure. You kind of had a pretty good excuse why you couldn't make it, to be honest. You just had the birth of a child, which kind of makes sense why you had to take a pause. I know that all too well. And my friend, let me be the first to say family always comes first. And, who knows? Season 2 could be around the corner. We got to head back to Jersey. You're not that far away from the Newark area. I think we can make it happen again.
Yeah, I appreciate the understanding there. I think my wife probably would have killed me. So thank you very much on that.
Well, we're always treading a fine line as toy collectors with families and wives, or at least some of us are. So I completely understand that. I'm just going to start the questions and see where we go from there. Jay and I have a lot to think about when it comes to M.A.S.K, and I have no idea how your answers might steer this entire conversation. Frankly, M.A.S.K for me always feels like that big property that people mention after you get through Transformers, G.I. Joe, Masters, Turtles, and Star Wars. It seems to be that fondly remembered toy line and cartoon. It's not quite a prominent hero line, but not quite an underdog. It's always in that middle gray ether. What is it about M.A.S.K that kind of keeps it where it is, do you think?
You're not wrong there, and this is something that I struggle with a lot when I'm thinking about, like, I don't just talk about M.A.S.K on the channel. I do some other things here and there, and when I think about M.A.S.K in the realm of Kenner, let's say, I consider that to be like the highest you can get, roughly. When you're looking at it, you can't, Masters, G.I. Joe, etc. All these things have continued onward, and M.A.S.K has had a subpar comic, not at the fault of the writers or the artists. It was more, I think, at the corporate base where it was just not well received, and that's about it. Nothing else really in between. A figure that I think I saw in the background of your shot there, Rob, and
yeah.
it's something that people go, oh, I remember M.A.S.K, the cars, right? They changed and they had the powers. Yes, that's what they do. Do you remember anything else about it? And they go, T-Bob. I'm like, oh. It's interesting. It's interesting when you think about it, like what people fully remember and what they don't remember. And that's not their fault. It's the fault of basically Hasbro, essentially, for sitting on the franchise for 10 years or so now, not doing anything with it. So it's probably been longer than that. But it does sit in that middle tier, and you're 100% right on that. It's not going to leave there until there's a corporate backing to do something about It's
But Bill, how do
it's
you
going to be
really
fine.
feel about it? I can't quite tell from your tone and demeanor if you're okay with it or not. Is it okay that they haven't done much? I mean, it's unfortunate.
No, it's not okay. There are so many other entities and things that have. There's 8,000 lines of the Masters figures. Um, there was a Gem movie. You guys probably remember that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah. It's all these things kind of happen and are brought back and are rehashed and redone. Mass sits there as what you have from 1985 to 1987, with very few things sprinkled throughout the rest of that time, where we all got older, grayer, and probably other things too. But I won't go. Yeah, you look great. There's a little bit of gray there, but you can see here, like I got the gray going here, and it's just going to keep happening. So it's you're looking at it along these lines of, when will this come back? What is the holdup? It's superpowers, and you have vehicles that transform. What's the drawback here? Where are we not seeing what we're doing here, like as a corporate entity? And it's been mind-boggling, and that's why years ago I changed the moniker to the website to keep M.A.S.K alive since 2001. I wish it rhymed, but it doesn't. But really, I started the website in 2001 to keep M.A.S.K going in the forefront the best I could. And as you guys pointed out, your logo, had Thunderhawk in it. I was very pleased by that. I'm glad that was the case. It's just it's a weird entity. They're just kind of sitting and waiting, and I don't know what the holdup is, in all honesty, and it's very frustrating.
yeah, I can certainly relate to that. Bill, I wanted to ask you, kind of piggybacking on Rob's question there, if M.A.S.K were to come back in a toy fashion, what scale would you want them to come back at? And follow up, would you want it to be in the 85 era or modern vehicles?
Well, it's a loaded question. Just because I'm starved for M.A.S.K content, right? I'm starved for anything that would come out. So if, let's say that a Super 7 came out with, their the reaction line, right? Or if they want something more so what they're doing now with their Thundercats. For what it's worth, if M.A.S.K came back as figures only, like the G.I. Joe 25th anniversary tracker, I would buy the entire wave, and I would have a loose set and a sealed set. But the vehicles and the figures are, and I've talked about this in other episodes on my channel. It's like kind of like a symbiote feature, really. What other toy line had every character come with a vehicle? Some of them subpar, but some of them, some of the most spectacular toys you're ever going to have from the 80s. It's going to be hard to redo that, and especially from my understanding is that the molds don't exist from the original toys. If they do, they're very scarce or sparse, figure-wise and vehicle-wise. So I want a original kind of scaling for a couple, like a vehicle and a figure. I just don't see how Hasbro, who holds the rights, is going to take the 4-inch scale and make vehicles out of it. I just feel like they're not going to do it. I feel like they're going to be, if they haven't done it yet, I don't see it's going to happen. But if they did a 6-inch scale of figures, if Super 7 got the rights or somebody else, NECA, etc., you'd be 100% behind that. It's just they're not going to be complete unless you have the vehicle too. But I would still buy them if it was figure only, or vice versa. They just released a vehicle of some certain scale. It's just going to be hard to figure that out, what the mindset is. And I wish I could give you some insight into what Hasbro is thinking or doing or anything along those lines. But unfortunately, they don't answer any emails on this.
Sure. So the second part of the question then, would you want them to recreate 85 to 87 the way, Hondo and Matt and all those guys looked, or would you want a modern take on it, kind of like the G.I. Joe Classified? Say if it was just the figures.
If it was just figures, I want something larger, with more detail, more articulation, something that will display a little bit better. If you're just going to be doing a figure line, I have the shelf here next to me that has all the figures from the line, and there's a ton of detail in these 2-inch figures. But if that's all we're going to get out of it, I'd rather have be something a little bit more complex.
Sure.
The arms go up and down, the legs bend, the knees bend, and the head turns. But I'd rather have a 4-inch scale, and not to brag or anything, but I've been made into 4-inch scale. This is it's a fun story. This is a 4-inch scale of me as a M.A.S.K agent.
Oh, that's awesome.
If you look behind me right there, it's hard to see. A friend of mine a fan, became a friend of mine really quick of the channel on the website. He saw a picture of me at a Phillies game with my dad and my brother. And I'm a big Phillies fan and Flyers fan. And he made me an agent based off of the Fanatic, essentially, if you're not familiar. The Philly Fanatic, the mascot.
Sure.
So time passes, and all of a sudden, I make a joke about making me look good, and then I get this out of it. So I'm already in G.I. Joe scale. So thanks to to Brian for the original picture there, which really cemented a lot of what I do. That's what I do it for, the community. All the stuff I'm doing is for the M.A.S.K community. That happened, and it was it was one of those things. It's wow, I can't believe somebody took the time to do this, and I look good doing it. I look good in this picture. It doesn't happen often.
Now you know how we feel about our faces being on shirts.
Yeah, it's a weird dynamic, but I also find it so humbling. And it's not, and it's not humbling in a sense I'm not a celebrity or anything. I'm just a guy trying to push the stuff, and I'm trying to keep it moving. And that happened based off of a day I had at at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. It's going to be something I'm going to remember for all time now because of that image that was made, and also because of this figure. I'm an action figure.
That's amazing,
and I'm glad. And I'm glad I got the scaling correctly on the muscles, because I have done. So Chris, thank you. Chris Sizemore, great custom artist. Thank you for making sure you got that.
That's wicked, no dude. That's such a cool story. Rob and I have been talking through the various projects that we've done, and I've been pushing Rob. I'm like, we need action figures, but it's extremely costly. But dude, that is so cool. You have your own self in your own favorite series as a figure. That's great. Rob?
Yeah, I gotta throw it out there. I mean, you are such a diehard guy. It's clear you're a tortured soul when it comes to the lack of support for this line. I mean, you're such a diehard. You saw the G.I. Joe Matt tracker over my shoulder here. Even though it's out of focus, I gotta kind of give you the soldier's dilemma here, and that is, what if it did come back as a cartoon or a toy line and it absolutely tanked? It didn't do well, and in fact left a worse taste in people's mouth than what we already got, which for anybody that watches it, is on board. The cartoon show was right up there with Transformers and G.I. Joe. the toys are awesome on their own right. They're expensive to collect now, but I mean, anybody that has a shelf like yourself, you're a shelfie. You got your pro shelfer. You like it up there, the 2-inch detail. Make yourself feel good. Put them up there. Anybody that has the toys feels good about them. But what if it came back and it was awful? Would it have been worth it? All these years of torment and struggle and emailing Hasbro PR people, or maybe it should just be in the past and be that thing that we loved from then.
Well, fortunately, Rob, I mean, I touched on it very briefly. It came back in the IDW line of the comics, which is not a way you relaunch anything, by the way. If it hasn't been, you know, if it hasn't been anywhere in the mainstream for 35 plus years. It started out pretty good, and it's just like, yeah. It became terrible, and then it got canceled before its time, really before they could flush it out. So that happened, and I was upset at the missed opportunities all around. I have the comics, I have all the alternate covers of them. I was reading them, I was enjoying them, and it just kind of stopped. If a cartoon came back or a movie came back and it, the movie, there's a movie supposedly coming, from Hasbro and Paramount, where F. Gray is the director, and there's some writers attached to it. That was, I mean, that news came out like 6 years ago.
Dude, when it comes to movie news, you got nothing on the Masters fans. Okay, it's like every month there's another rumor with another director and another, situation attached. So believe me, us Masters fans get it.
I mean, I'm a Masters fan too. Like
I see that on your shelf
right there behind me there with some my original Masters. I have some of the Origins there. But like at this point, I would take Dolph Lundgren as every character in M.A.S.K. if it came back to something. he would be every character, and I would take it. I'd be like, you know what, Dolph, this is your.
I would love to see a scene as Dolph Lundgren as Matt Tracker talking to T-Bob.
I would take it, and Dolph Lundgren as T-Bob. I would absolutely. That's how starved this community is for this content. And we're fortunate enough where we have great people. I don't know if you guys have followed anything that Kerouac has done over time. He came up with 2 comics, M.A.S.K 85 and M.A.S.K 86, that you can find on the website. Mm-hmm. Straight stories from his head. They're phenomenal. And he's my co-host, and I'm not just plugging him for anything. He's my co-host for Talking Overtime. He's the one that came up with that original picture right there. And he came up, he's like, you know what? I'm going to make something for the M.A.S.K community. He's a graphic artist. He's a great storyteller, he has great communication skills, and put this story out there. And if you guys haven't read it yet, if you go to matttracker.com, it's also in some other sites too. There's a title right at the top, Kerouac, M.A.S.K 85 and M.A.S.K 86. I highly recommend it because it makes the racing season actually palatable to a point as well. So there's a ton of websites out there. There's other channels that are doing videos just on M.A.S.K, aside from my own. So we're doing the content, the content here. We're trying to really grow this and make it for ourselves essentially. We have on the channel on matttracker.com, we have 4 other people that are doing videos for us. Like it's a really cool aspect where they're doing it out of the love of the line, out of the love of the cartoon, and it's just we're passionate to be able to keep it moving as best we can.
That's awesome. I'm gonna make it real easy. I'm gonna throw this out to Rob first, and then we'll go to you second. Rob, real simple. Let's keep it real light. Who is your absolute favorite M.A.S.K agent besides Matt Tracker?
Oh, well, I mean, it's got to be Brad Turner with Congress.
Brad, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was literally the only mask figure and character I ever had, so there was an instant attachment to that, and I drooled over all the stuff that you had when it came to your toys, Rhino, Alex, Buddy, everything you had was amazing. So, but Brad, definitely 100%, yeah.
Okay, and Bill, I don't know if this is going to be a hard one for you or it's easy. Your favorite mask agent and why?
Well, I'll forego Matt because in the cartoon, the Spectrum mask, the power was plot device, so we're going to bypass that.
Yeah.
I loved Brad as a character. I also loved Dusty. Like the accent, like you would think that like he wouldn't be dependable. Like there's all these elements, but I think if I was going to be give you my fully honest opinion, it would be Gloria Baker. Gloria was headstrong, and she really could hold her own with the aura mask for pretty much anything that Venom could throw at them. Naturally, they're a team, so they play off their strengths and weaknesses the best they can. But I think Gloria, I think she would be my second favorite behind Matt, just because namesake of the channel. But I think and plus Kenner and DIC, their lack of commitment to any other female characters other than Vanessa, really. And like I guess you can count the Mass Computer too, but which were all voiced by Sharon Noble, one person. I think I would go Gloria Baker. That's what I think.
That's interesting. You bring up Gloria because you're the man to ask for this. What happened with Shark? Why did we never get Shark in the first version of Gloria? Is there a definite reason for that? Because I've looked for years, and everyone seems to have a different kind of theory as to why we didn't get Shark.
It's theory based. I've reached out to higher ups for both DIC and Kenner, and there was never an answer back. Like they never wanted to answer the question. So we got Gloria in Series 4 of the toy line with a vehicle called Stiletto, which is the mask name of Sly Rax's mask from the cartoon in the toy line. There's nothing definitive, and my only assumption, and this is my only assumption is that this is a boys' toy. That's why we didn't do it until this portion. The other ones out there that you probably heard is they couldn't get licensing from Porsche to do it, but you can look at Shark and like manipulate it to look like something else where it's not a Porsche, and still do it if you really wanted to. So you have that there.
I saw on Retro Blasting, I saw Michael had almost like a model kit of Shark, and it fell apart. It was like a 3D printed one. Have you seen this one? I'm sure you have.
There are. I don't have one yet. What I do have here, though, and I can go over that because there's a really big 3D printing community. I do have a cartoon accurate Gloria here.
Oh wow!
In the collection.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. So you have people that took the time to look for kits that they could edit and manipulate the best they could. Now you have 3D printing. It's getting even better. You have some that are actually transforming, which is what you really want to get out of it. The one that Michael had, and I talked to him about this on the show a little while ago. He was a guest of the show, which was a ton of fun to be able to talk with him about this. You had to kind of piece it together and put it back, and that's how you had to display it. But there's a ton of customizers out there. There's just to throw a couple names out for no particular reason. M.A.S.K, Shark and Customs. You have a gentleman named Cliff Dagger, who, if you're in circles of everything we're doing mask-wise, what he's doing. He has everything like blackout, all the obscure vehicles that didn't make the line, like the transport jet, etc.
Wow.
And Wes, there's also that element too. Like he's doing similar aspects. So there's 3D customizers that are really taking the lead on what's missing. And there's other ones out there, and I'm not doing it on purpose to miss anybody. I just wanted to make that aware that there are some that pop up on eBay from time to time, but you're going to be spending probably $300 to $500 because of the time it takes. And I don't think it's overpriced. I think it's unfortunate that that's where we have to be in order to actually have a quote unquote full collection from the cartoon.
Sure.
Now, I've only got one thing else that I want to throw at you, and it pertains to your YouTube channel in particular. You've got a ton of different playlists up there, but when you and I were talking earlier today, just arranging all the final details for the show, you threw this thing at me called, was it the Command Chronicles? Now, I find this super interesting, and I'll let you talk all about it, but it really parallels with the project I've got coming up called Faking Filmation, where James Eatock is trying to get his Masters of the Universe unofficial cartoon out there. And then you show me Command Chronicles, which has a similar flavor to it. So why don't you tell us about Command Chronicles?
Sure. Well, I think the fortunate thing is that nobody from a corporate backing is watching. So that's a good thing. I would love to get hey, don't do this. That means they're paying attention. But I've had this story in my head, and there's people that have scripts and ideas of how to do a M.A.S.K movie or a M.A.S.K revival. I've had this idea in my head where it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different how it starts, and that's what it is really. I started off and I call it the Command Chronicles because obviously you spell command with a K. That's proper English. We know that for a fact. And then Chronicles, obviously it's with a K too. So that's the title of it. It's breaking up in the chapters. They're gonna be short and succinct. And my animation skills are not there. So what I'm looking to hopefully do is take the story that I'm thinking about. And I have it it's already written out, which that's the fun part, is that I know where it starts and then where it goes to the end. I'm hoping to be able to, if there's enough interest in this, to maybe do like a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter or something like that, so I can hire animators to animate the story as it is, to give M.A.S.K fans something new to watch and to carry on with. And voice actors, I'm going to be looking to maybe incorporate some of the original voice cast, which I have ties into all of them if I need to, but I'm not going to ask them to do anything they're uncomfortable with. But there's a lot of people that are willing to do voices for this already, which is really cool. And my voice, I think, is best suited for, like Goon number 3, I think it would be. So, so if it can manifest and grow, that's what I want to do. I want to make it all about the M.A.S.K community as a whole, and just provide something that we can all kind of jump around and kind of move forward with. So that's it. I don't remember exactly how or why I chose the methodology that I have for it, for that first episode, but that's not the way it's going to be the entire time. It's the way I could tell the story, where I thought it helped convey who was speaking at certain times, and I just really hope that people don't look at that portion of it and go, wow, I wish it was animated. We'll look at it as a fact that it's a pilot episode of something that I really want to progress forward with others attached. So.
Yeah, for sure. So if anybody has interest, just go check out the Matt Tracker YouTube channel. You can see Command Chronicles right there. Like Bill said, there's chapter 1. It's about 10 minutes long. You can see some voiceover acting, basically set to different screenshots that play out as, basically, I don't want to say fan fiction because that doesn't really ever do this stuff justice. I like to say unofficial entry point. And, Bill's hoping to keep the M.A.S.K spirit alive, get some eyeballs on it, and maybe raise some cash to animate it. I would love more M.A.S.K stuff, whether it's official or not. So you got my vote. And, I mean, clearly the stuff I'm doing with James and Faking Filmation and The Return of Faker, it's all part of that same world. So I love it. Bill, did you want to stick around for Action Figure Spotlight?
Yeah, not a problem. I would love to.
Cool. All right, well, I'm going to bring on our special guest, too. Now, this is Nathan, I'm not a toy guy, Sawyer, who is also now Tater the toy guy. You can see that there's been a transformation there. Nathan, Tater, whatever we're going to call you, welcome back to the Chain Rob Toy Show. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute, guys. How you guys doing?
Well, very well.
We're having a great time with Bill, and I love talking M.A.S.K. Rob and I, like I said at the beginning, we don't get to talk in depth about M.A.S.K. to too many people, so this has been awesome.
What do you got to showcase us? What kind of dollies do you have on deck?
I've been talking to you guys about this particular toy line. It's the Ronin Star Wars, and I went out and I bought this specific toy just to showcase here, and I got him in, and now he's a little bit of an expensive toy, but I got a really good deal on him, or I thought was a really good deal on him, and when I pulled him out of the package, he turned out to be a knockoff, and he fell apart, and I can't get him back together. So I am not,
man.
I'm not going to showcase that guy today. So,
Dude.
Welcome to toy collecting, Tater.
So I decided I'm going to showcase a toy line that you actually introduced me to, Rob. It's the Mythic Legions. I got the Ice Troll from Mythic Legions, and this guy is absolutely amazing. The detail on him is spectacular. I wasn't sure about looking on him online. His little loincloth here is actually made of fur. And I mean, the detail that they put into this guy is absolutely amazing. The articulation on him isn't, too great. He's got some articulation, but you can't beat the detail in the face and the mouth with the loincloth, just in the skin and the color of him. I don't know if you guys can see, but
that's a gorgeous. I remember getting to see all those trolls up close in the box. And they're phenomenal, man. Those things are just incredible.
They've got several different trolls online. One of them, it just went on sale, and my wife is like, "No, you can't get them."
But he's on sale.
He's on sale. They don't last very long.
It's a sale.
As soon as they get online, man, they're gone within a few hours. But he does come with this nifty little sword.
That's his weapon.
That's his weapon, and I'm not kidding. I mean, like
an actual shank.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like a little hunting knife. But yeah,
Jeez.
that's his weapon.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Holy cow.
It's pretty nice, man. I'm excited to see what else they've got. I ordered another one of the Masters of the Universe line trolls that they got on pre-order right now. So I'm excited to see,
too.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what that looks like when it comes in. It's got interchangeable heads, and I'm not sure what accessories it comes with, but I'm really excited to see that. The whole line is fantastic. I just kind of fell in love with it. So,
ladies and gentlemen, my favorite part about this entire story is you can clock and see the evolution of Nathan, I'm not a toy guy, saw you, to Tater, the official toy guy. It took all of 4 months to justify multiple $200, $300 figure purchases with wife approval, might I add. It's a beautiful thing, man. You're a shelfer. You've been messaging me. I'm rearranging my office for my toys. I just bought a shelf. And they're going to be on the display in the back. I can't wait to interrupt work meetings with people checking out my figures behind me. I'm going to take a selfie and send it to you. It's a good day, man. You're totally Tater the toy guy now.
Yeah, you know, the first time you guys had me on the show was for I forget what it was for Holy Grails, and I didn't realize that I was going to have to actually present something on the show, and I didn't have any toys. I was like, oh, I didn't know what to do, so I brought out my Holy Grail for video games, which was the little Samson. But
I was going to say, didn't you bring out Samson that day? I remember you.
Yeah, I brought out little Samson. That was, was the only thing I had, and I was kind of desperate. And you know, I mean, it's got a great story because you know Jay helped me, you know, kind of, you know, make sure that it was a real little Samson cartridge and everything like that. So I mean, that was all I had. But yeah, now I've got quite a few and little play sets in here, and I've got shelves that are going to go up behind me with all the figures. And
oh, here we go.
Yeah,
you've done mom and dad proud here, Tater. Way to go! You're growing up. You're
my wife wouldn't agree, but you know.
Well, we can sort that out later, as we always do.
Well,
we're gonna move well.
Yeah,
Cindy,
you've got her
Cindy's
wanting
lovely.
some toys now too. So
yes, we do. That's awesome. Oh, look, we got some illumination here behind Bill, who's showing off. That is pro shelving 101.
That's who does this stuff? This is insane. I can't believe it.
We're too old.
Oh, I do. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, Bill, we're gonna jump to you now. Why don't you showcase us one of your dollies from your shelves and let us know why that's something you want to showcase?
Sure. Well, it's not up there. Let me go over here. 1 second.
Professional lighting. I love it. Remote controlled lighting. We need that.
I've got it. It's behind me. My clicker is, you know.
Oh. Whoa.
This is M.A.S.K.
Amazing. M.A.S.K.
Yes. M.A.S.K. So these come in this 4-pack, and then they come in individual sets. Some of them say M.A.S.K, but this is my favorite one because the S is low. It's the whole thing is all screwed up. It's a gun up here, like they don't, and then the font kind of goes everywhere. You got Wolf with Brimley in here. It's such a weird set. I remember when I saw this, I had to have it. It was like, nope, getting that right now. That's in, and people think the Argentina figures, the playful line, which we didn't talk about, they think that these are bootlegs, these Argentina playful figures, but these are actually licensed by Kenner to Playful to make. So you'll have very, kind of poorly made figures along the line. And if you're ever wondering what the difference is between them, look for weird color patterns. And the knee joints will be metal and not plastic. So you'll have kind of a small gold mine on your hands if you find one of those. But no, that M.A.S.K set, I love it. It's so.
I want a M.A.S.K T-shirt now. That's what I want.
Peter Perkins.
I already have a logo made up. It pops up in my opening intro when it comes in because it's M.A.S.K, like M.A.S.K. M.A.S.K is what pops up.
Let's get that made. We're gonna contact our friend at Retro Regs that holds all our apparel. We're gonna get a M.A.S.K shirt made. Okay. Where nobody's making any money off a T-shirt. Don't worry about the numbers. But M.A.S.K shirts are going to be available if you've got the logo. We are definitely going to make that happen.
It's a fun piece. to say
Cool.
to-
Jay, that brings it up to you. Your big Black Star, is it? Or Brave Star? You got Brave Star Part 2 to reveal. What do you got?
I do. So I'm not going to reveal Mike's last name just because I don't know if he wants me to reveal his last name. But I met Mike on a toy group, and he literally had the entire line of Brave Star in box. So I was one of the first people to contact him. So I had literally my first pick. And of course, I took the sealed Fort Carrion. And then what am I going to take second? Well, I'm going to take probably the most expensive piece. The box is a little damaged, as most Mattel bubbles are from back in the day.
Wow.
That's 3030 still in the box. As you can see, the typical Mattel crack in the plastic.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's inevitable. But look at this guy. It's still got the old reduced price of $550. Then
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what did it get reduced to? Twice or 3 times on there. It looks like.
3030 is just an incredible character, and yeah, I mean, it was a no-brainer. This sucker was a lot. He gave me a great deal, but I wanted to show that off on something special like this show today. So,
Wait a second. Are you telling me you spent a lot of money on a horse?
well, you see, he's a horse robot
He
that
doesn't
also
feed it.
walks. Yeah,
Oh, so he's a robot horse. I'm sorry. Isn't that Stridor?
and he talks too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, hold that box up again for a second. That doesn't say Mattel, it says Meshtel.
Yeah.
It's probably worth
Oh
more
my
now.
god, it does. No, this is legit.
Oh.
This is legit. So hey, shout out to Mike. Mike said he was going to be watching tonight. So dude, thanks for. I don't know when do you ever see stuff like this? So I appreciate it.
All right, well, that brings it to me and our big box of fun that we advertised at the beginning of the show from Justice Cury. I mean, look, just
Is that
look
his
at this.
face?
Yep.
I hope not. I don't know whose face that is, but you know,
it looked like Vern or Ernest. Like,
You
I
know,
was like,
you just gotta open it here. Just gotta, you know,
that technique.
open these boxes. Yeah, I'm sorry, Justice, but I mean, come on. I got so many looks. I was in the parking lot walking out with this thing. People from across the street were like giving me the side eye. It's probably a M.A.S.K version of Justice Cury.
It might have been the
Tape
Rancho
this up
Obi-Wan
really good.
t-shirt and the suit jacket, but I don't know.
No. It's the lack of scarf that got me the look. Okay.
Have you been to Rancho Obi-Wan, by the way?
Yeah. Where is your scarf?
Well, hey, the weather is getting warmer here. Scarves are just impractical. Okay. So here we go. Now, I just want to showcase this because every time that I've had dealings with Justice Cury, he's always packed stuff really nice, and so he posts on almost every toy form out there. So this is the kind of packing job you're going to get. It's densely packed. You're not going to get something thrown in there, and he's a great person to buy stuff off of. So let's see what we got in here. Actually, you know what? I don't know where this has been or what's in there, so I'm just gonna put these on. He probably sent me a heart from Jay's horse.
Might as well throw a mask on too, Ira.
You know what? I might do that. Germs.
Just
Live,
not the black.
live TV, folks. This is live TV. Here we go.
There we go. It's called building suspense, showmanship. Oh my goodness.
Is that diapers? What is that?
This is the diapers I ordered.
Oh,
my! Look
Damn.
at this. It's like a water bed in here. Oh my goodness. Here we go. It's like the Truman Show. We're getting more views with this graphic. Oh my goodness. Now, do you know what this is, Jay?
that is Club Grayskull something?
Nope.
No.
Do you guys know what this is?
I have no
Bill,
clue.
do you know?
No,
So you're an
unfortunately.
Origins collector.
Ooh,
You've got some Origins.
I do.
So
Oh, yes. Okay.
It's Dolph Lundgren.
Yes.
now there is a slipcase that's in the box here. I'm not going to force it out right now, but This is the Comic-Con launch of Origins that has
Oh, wow.
Oh, that is
Prince
beautiful.
Adam on one side and then He-Man on the other side. And
Wow.
it's the alternate version of
amazing.
He-Man because it comes with a dagger in the boot there. And of course, as you can see, we've got amazing art here. So cloth goods on Prince Adam there with the blue vest.
Yes, and it's
And as
blue.
you guys know, Prince Adam is my favorite Masters character. So when this came up, Justice, we were talking about another deal, and he said, "I've got this coming up. I know you're a Masters fan. Is this something of interest to you?" And it was like, yeah. I wasn't going to get it. I missed it when it first came out, but I'm so glad to add that to my collection. And there's one more thing in here. And you know what? He didn't add any trinkets in here at all. So he
Aw, dang.
completely listened based on last time. But Jay, I think you're going to like this one. Oh, it's actually in an acrylic case. And that's this guy.
Oh,
Hooded
yeah.
Cobra Commander.
So a hooded Cobra Commander on the podium, but this is the Springfield version with the khaki pants. If you can see kind of there.
Yeah.
And he's got
Oh, wow.
the country club jacket on, which has a little crest on him right there as well. So
That
That's a
is,
deep-
I love that. I love that design. Like,
That's
Yeah,
from the Larry Hama Marvel run where he's starting to recruit troops because Commander is just a used car salesman who thinks the world owes him everything. So that's the beginning of Cobra, that figure. So I have the alternate version of that, or the regular version, I should say. And I love it. I fell in love with that figure as soon as I saw it. It's just incredible.
it's
Yeah.
like corporate Cobra Commander.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm looking at
That
Well-
box for the Masters is absolutely gorgeous. That's a beautiful display box.
Mine's
that's
different.
it's
Oh,
a
there
good
you go.
example of, you know,
There you go.
Mine
oh,
doesn't come in
nice.
a box.
It's
Sorry.
a good example of how much packaging can really enhance something, right? Not all packaging is created equal, but this is pretty awesome. And these are like cardback thickness, these comic pages here. You can see how thick they are. So that's like woven right into the package.
Comic-Con or this year Comic-Con?
2 years ago.
Next year they
So
didn't have it,
before
right?
it was like, I think it was like the year before it actually launched at Comic-Con.
Okay. So it'd been 19.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I love that. I love the, like, you think about not only the figure, think about how much time went into making that box itself. It's the box, and then
Yeah, it's all the box.
artwork on the box. Like that's some stuff that's like you just don't think about, and I'm sure you guys do. I know that, but it's you think about how it all ties together. Even simple card backs. There's a story behind how it's laid out and how it's designed, and but that one there, that's just such a cool piece to have Adam on the one side, cycle through it. Like that's really cool. Thanks for sharing that.
And so obviously a big shout out to Justice Cury to make that happening. Justice and I laugh back and forth about having fun at each other's expense, so I'm sure he'll appreciate all that gentle ribbing for his pleasure. That'll do it for another show, though, guys. Can we just get some social shout-outs to let everybody know where we can get a hold of you? Nathan, where can people get a hold of you if they want to talk to you about your new toy collection, Tater?
I'm on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Shodokahn, SHODOKAHN. I don't have any YouTube channels or anything like that. Just normal guy, normal collector. Friend me if you want.
Facebook.com/Tater the Toy Guy. Okay. And Bill, where can people get a hold of you?
I would say the easiest way to go is matttracker.com first. It's matt-tracker.com. You can do a quick search for it. And then you can kind of see the YouTube videos. Then you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram that we're on as well. I think that's the easiest way to go. So.
Well,
and Jay, where can people get a hold of you, mister? Is it some sort of like Jay the Toy Master diorama street photographer 75?
I was gonna say, I gotta tell you, Bill, we're buddies now, so I'm gonna be throwing that Facebook request your way. So you better accept. So I'll be upset. Just
I'm
saying.
100% going to accept it. And also, how many tables are holding up your flag?
Two.
That's it? Okay.
That's it. I need something like Michael has that's mobile. I need to make one of those guys. You can find me on YouTube, and dropping right this second after the show is my review of Marty McFly on my YouTube channel. That is out right as we speak. So, guys, check it out. Jay Bartlett on YouTube.
This is like the pre-show for your YouTube channel now. You're scheduling everything at 9:30 on Monday night.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. You can find me at Rob McZob on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok. Of course, we're on Facebook as well at Action Figure Adventure. And the Jay and Rob Figure Collective is that fan group that Tater, the toy guy, is one of the admins of, and so is Scott Wad. Tater, Bill, thanks for smashing about toys with us this week. We appreciate your participation, of course. I want to give a big shout out to all our Patreon backers as well. We have had a couple new ones as well. So allow me to say thank you to Tim, Lisa, Nathan, Bill, Matt, J, Danny, Ryan, Mike, Chris, Scott, Billy, Ben, Kyle, Nelson, Rodney, Nico, Adam, and the Plunderlings, of course. You guys are awesome. You make what we do possible. And we've got a show now coming to broadcast television because of your support exclusively on Jinx Esports TV in Canada and maybe some other places as well. Jay, we always end these shows with a familiar slogan that is going to be tattooed on someone's face one day. For the love of toys and the warmth of scarves, take care of yourself.
And each other?
Because playtime is...
It's the best. I don't know. What do you want from me? It's the best.
Playtime is the best time, Jay.
Whatever.
The best time. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next week.
Thanks, guys.